Today's episode of Nerdist News is brought to you by Graphic Stock. Will Wonder Woman's success be enough to change the DCEU? Find out on today's Nerdist News. Praise be to Hippolyta, for we have witnessed a miracle. The ugly, gray, formless clay of the DCEU has finally been shaped into something wonderful, specifically something Wonder Woman. Yes, the daughter of Themyscira storms into theaters today, and by all accounts, the movie more than earned the wonder in its title. I've seen it twice, and it holds up. It's great. In fact, while it was once being touted with the dubious honor of could be better than Suicide Squad, now it's being praised as one of the best superhero films of the last decade. Maybe one of the best superhero films ever. Critics and fans alike are heaping a ton of love on it, calling out its charismatic leads and exciting action as being more than enough reason to put it at the top of your summer movie required viewing list, like I did on the Dan Cave. Wonder Woman. Good show. But perhaps even more unexpected are a bunch of words that are popping up that you don't really see in reviews for movies like this. Words like hopeful, optimistic, and sincere. In interviews for the film, director Patty Jenkins has said she wanted to make a Wonder Woman movie that was free of irony, one that celebrated the character's devotion to the ideals of love. And we couldn't be happier to report that it definitely seems like she succeeded. Now, of course, if you've been a DCEU devotee up to this point, you might be feeling a bit out of sorts right now. I mean, where are all the underlit men's room fistfights I've come to expect from my favorite superhero franchise, you might be asking? Well, don't fret too much, because Justice League is right around the corner, and that might be exactly what you're looking for. But after that, who knows? With Wonder Woman earning the DCEU the critical love that's pretty much eluded it up until now, one has to wonder, is this going to be the start of a major course correction for the studio? Could Diana's ideals of love and optimism become the status quo for DC going forward? Well, it's hard to say right now. A lot of that's going to depend on the film's final box office at the end of this weekend. Wonder Woman is already off to a great start with an 11 million preview night haul, which is more than Ant-Man, Thor, and Cap all made in their initial first night outings. But it's also well under the amount brought in by Suicide Squad previews. In fact, that film, despite being considered the epitome of everything DC does wrong, was still a massive hit, grossing more than Guardians of the Galaxy before it left theaters. And it also won an Oscar. Haha, suck it, Marvel. So while Warner Brothers is probably smiling from all those good reviews, it's hard to imagine they'll ever fully step away from a formula that's been so bankable. Then again, there is a precedent for superhero films going dark and succeeding in the short run, but then never really recovering from it. Just look at X-Men: The Last Stand and Spider-Man 3. Both of those films took their respective franchises into darker, more depressing, and in one case, slightly more emo directions, and they were both massive hits. But both super series kind of flamed out for a while after that. Even Christopher Nolan's beloved Dark Knight trilogy saw a big drop in box office and critical praise after its ultra-nihilistic second outing. So maybe the lesson here is that while audiences can stomach darkness in small doses, it's not entirely sustainable in the long run. However, the bright, poppy, positive aesthetic of something like the Marvel movies can keep audiences flocking back to theaters for nearly a decade now. It's definitely a lesson the publishing arm of DC seemed to learn. Their recent Rebirth relaunch has been a major win for the company, precisely because they've re-embraced a lot of the positivity and optimism that's been missing from their titles for so long. As a result, they're now rivaling Marvel on the sales chart, a feat they haven't been able to pull off for quite some time. Now, of course, it still remains to be seen if after Wonder Woman, DC Films is going to be bold enough to make a similar move. But there are reasons to remain hopeful, especially with Joss Whedon coming on to punch up Justice League, as well as write and direct his own Batgirl movie. Whedon has always been a guy that's been able to strike a nice balance between the dark and the light in his work, and honestly, he could be the guy to save the DCEU if it were not for the one small detail of the fact that DC's already been saved by Wonder Woman and director Patty Jenkins. Jenkins' work on Wonder Woman is truly amazing, and honestly, in our opinion, Warner Brothers needs to keep Jenkins on board, not just to direct the inevitable Wonder Woman sequels, but to help shape the rest of the franchise from here on out. We'd be excited to see what her touch could bring to other superheroes, even ones without woman in the title. A female director helming a non-female centric superhero film? I know, sounds crazy, right? It's not though. It's 2017. Shut the fuck up. Let's face it, after seeing Wonder Woman, I think we can all agree Jenkins is a pretty good fit for any superhero. I mean, did you notice how Wonder Woman actually seems to like the people she's saving? And didn't wear a bunch of Henleys? But what do you guys think? How much did you love Wonder Woman? And would you like to see more films like this from DC? Let's discuss. And a big thank you to the sponsor of today's Nerdist News, Graphic Stock. Graphic Stock is the largest unlimited download image library on the internet. And the best part is, once you become a member, you'll have access to all of it. Over 350,000 unique images, and they're all yours. They've even added a whole bunch of new images from their creator to creator collection. And if you want to give Graphic Stock a shot, June's the time to do it, because this month and this month only, they're offering a free 7-day trial. Just go to graphicstock.com/nerdist or click the link in the description box to sign up, and for the next 7 days, you can download whatever images you want totally for free.